Hey, church family, happy Friday. A couple of weeks ago, in one of the services, I had this little kind of word that I shared with the church. And I said, have you ever felt like there's just this spirit of meh that's kind of on all of us right now? And you can define that in a bunch of different ways, but obviously we know meh from the Emoji Movie, because that was a very interesting movie. Very interesting. But Sarah actually this week sent me an article from the New York Times that was talking about this kind of spirit of meh that's kind of come over North America, Canada, Ontario, Kingston, because of COVID. And it was talking about this concept of languishing. And I'm actually going to explain it to you because I just found it very, very interesting. In the article, it talks about this scale of vitality, where on the far side, on one side, it's depression, and on the far other side, it's flourishing. And they said right in the middle is this thing called languishing. And languishing means to be enervated, which means to be drained of energy or to lack vitality. It's to become dispirited. It's to suffer neglect. Hello, social isolation, I think, is getting to all of us. And to appeal for sympathy. And so I can honestly say, as soon as I read this article and I read that kind of definition of languishing, I realized that's where a lot of people are. They are just not living out a flourishing, just faith-filled, fruit-filled life. And so I believe God has an answer for flourishing. He has a solution for it. He has a solution for languishing that's going to lead to flourishing. And it's found in Psalm chapter 92, and it says this in verse 13 down to verse 15. It says, "But those who are planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bear fruit in old age. They shall be fresh and flourishing to declare that the Lord is upright, for he is my rock." And I want you to know, church, God understands what languishing is all about. While he did not author the New York Times article, I honestly believe that he understands the scale of vitality. And he's looking at people all around the world, both believers and unbelievers, and seeing people that are languishing through this season. And what God is just reminding us of is those who are planted. In other words, those who are connected to the life flow of Christ himself and to other believers can actually snap out of this period of languishing. So what does that mean for us? It means that we have to make an effort, even in this season, even in another lockdown, to stay connected, to make that effort to connect with someone, to reach out to somebody, whether it's whatever way that you can legally, to just love on each other, bless each other, pray for one another, encourage each other, and to be the church in the midst of this time. The biblical word for flourish here in the book of Psalms, the Hebrew word means to bud, to blossom, to sprout, to grow, to break out, to fly, and to soar. And so my heart's cry for you, church, is that you would break out of whatever languishing is going on, and that you would flourish, that you would soar, that you would fly, that you would blossom, that you would sprout, and that you would grow. Because God wants to use you to bring life, health, and vitality to those around you. Bless you, church. Have an awesome night.